Hello!
Hey, the broadcast is live. It's alive.
Hi, everybody!
Hi, everybody.
And who are you?
Hey, who are we? Oh, well, I am. It's good. Excuse that noise. It's a little bit loose
So
tonight.
professional.
Well, look, Sandy's joining in as well. So, hello, everybody. I am Kate. I am self-isolating at home with children, and I am physically stuffed.
And I'm Maggie. I'm working from home, so I'm mentally stuffed.
I'm Cal, and I'm stuck at home all day with my husband, so we're about ready to tell each other to get stuffed.
And we're the three stuffed mums.
As you can tell.
Yeah, I think we've stuffed up the intro as well tonight. But welcome to the viral edition of the Three Stuffed Mums. This is episode number 3.
Wow, feels like I've been doing it for years.
Our favourite number, isn't it, ladies? The three for Three Stuffed Mums.
3 is the golden number.
Yeah. So what's been going on? What's happening?
It's been good.
What's been going? Oh, first of all, we are aware that there are sound problems with our audio, and so tonight we are trying to solve that. I don't know how good that's going to be. We've got headphones on, so
It sounds better on this end. Hopefully it sounds better on your end. So maybe if you could let us know. And we haven't even said hello. Say hello to everybody that's watching, and maybe pop in a thing and say hello. Let us know that you're watching. Let us know where you're from and if the sound sounds better tonight. But we really appreciate that everyone has been sticking with us over the last couple of days, or the last couple of episodes, whilst we get ourselves sorted. We feel like we've got the white cords and we're feeling a bit fancy now.
So the president's coming. The president's. There's a guy.
What?
Yeah, that's what it is.
But we've got June. Hi, June. June's back again. Nice, love you,
Kim.
seeing you. And who else have we got? Karen. Hi, Karen. Hello,
Hi, Karen.
And we've got Kim.
Tanya.
Hello,
Hi,
lady.
Tanya.
And we've got Stephen Wood. Who
From
said
the
that?
other room.
Yeah, and Glenn Jackson from the other room.
Well, Glenn hasn't officially said that he's here tonight, so maybe he's.
Yeah, he was the first one up, 8:01 p.m.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. He's giving us the report. Well, there's 6 watching, including me. But Glenn, now we see that there is 23, which is even exciting.
Oh,
And then we've
nice.
got Tanya. Hello, Tanya. And
Rod says much better sound tonight. Yay!
we had a
Owen.
production meeting on Saturday. Looks like we might have cleared ourselves. And a big hi to Owen, and sounds great. Hey!
Owen's in Scotland.
And Belle
Good.
Ryan. Hi, Belle.
Hey,
Belle
Belle.
Ryan, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Belle because she has been doing some amazing things of late. She has just in the process of launching her very first podcast. So
Wow.
very, very exciting. So it's
That's
called,
great.
did I get it right? Reignited. It's on Apple, iTunes podcast, and wherever else you listen to them. I don't know. But yeah, so there you go. Good on you, Belle. And Tani's here. Oh, hang on. Wait, sorry. Tani, hi. And Jane's there as well.
Hi, Tani. And Jane. Hi.
And we've got Karen. Oh, Karen. We've said hello to Karen already, haven't we? We're saying hello again. Yep. Oh, the sound's good. Excellent. Thank you. And
Okay.
it's a pity you can't read the text. It's hilarious.
So
What
apparently there's some automatically generated text that comes up, which we can't see. And I
Oh.
think it understands what Kate says, but it totally misinterprets what Kehau and I say. So Stephen spends the broadcast time just killing himself laughing. At
Well, that's
the
what somebody said
captioning.
last week, that the captions were hysterical. Somebody take a screenshot for us because we can't see it. I
Yeah,
don't
we
know what
see
it is.
them.
There we go. We're funny even when we're not saying anything.
Yeah. Apparently.
Fantastic. Alrighty.
Thank
so
you. Thanks everybody for tuning in. If we don't give you a personal shout out, it's because things are rolling past us so quickly that we don't get a chance to, but we appreciate everybody, signing up. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Fabulous. So let's kick off the first segment of the night, shall we, ladies?
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready? Are we good? We're good? Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
we're going into isolations. So these are like
Ding, ding,
observations,
ding, ding, ding,
but
ding.
they're observations made in isolation.
Ding, 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 ding. Isolations. Isolations.
Okay.
They say it's isolations. Oh, sorry.
So Maggie, have you got any isolations for this week that you have noticed the latest lay of the land?
I do. I have noticed that books have become very much more important in our lives these days. And I don't mean books for reading. I mean, you can read all books, but we're not using the books for that. We're actually using our books to lift up our computers so that we're not actually getting the ceiling in shot. So my books that I'm using, I've got Chronicles of the Cinema, which is about that thick. And then I've got that topped up by about a 2 centimetre Burt Bacharach anthology. So if I want a wee sing-song, I can just take that out and the sheet music's there.
Yeah, but you have to sing like this, though.
What was that?
Then you have to sing. You'll be lower on the screen.
If you see me walking down the street. Anyway, so it's not just me that's got these books. I'm sure that everybody out there has got their special books for lifting up their screens. So I want you to please take a photograph of your books that are holding up your screen and put them on our Three Stuff Mums page. And after the show tonight, I'll put mine on as well so that you can see.
And if you're having trouble loading those photos onto the Three Stuff Mums page, feel free to send it to one of us individually, because I know Kylie had trouble actually loading up wouldn't accept her photos. So just send it to one of us and we'll make sure that it gets up there.
Fabulous. Yep. And I think the other thing, Maggie, with the books is that there's a very it's a very fine line between something that's thick enough but something that's also wide enough to hold the laptop too. So you have to get the proportions of the books just right.
Exactly. So, like, if I'll show you Burt Bacharach, hang on, here he is. So here's Burt. He's got the worst jumper that you've ever seen in your life.
Well, it was the 70s.
I know. It looks like hilarious. Picasso vomited on it. But the size of this book is exactly the same size as
the bottom of your computer.
As the bottom of the laptop.
Hey, perfect.
And so is the Chronicles of Cinema book. That's what coffee table books are good for this.
Yes, fabulous. Nice.
Yes.
Right. And Kay, how have you got any observations? Them things.
I get it. Yeah, actually, I do. You know, I had to think about this, because the funny thing is, to me, is that even though we're in isolation, we're still craving human contact, and nobody is at home going, "Gosh, I miss algebra." You know, everyone's going, you know, I need some jokes, I need some music, I need a good bingeable movie. Tell me what you're watching on Netflix. Tell me, you know, people are doing online concerts, they're doing online pub quizzes, they're doing stuff that is very social and very human-oriented. Now, the arts the arts are getting cut back tremendously, and yet this is the one field that is the most community oriented, in the sense that creativity is part of our daily life as human beings. And that as far back as the caveman days, when they were sitting around, you know, in the caves and talking about the hunt that day, and hey, let's draw a picture of that, you know, and then there's pictures, and there's, you know, sitting around the fire going, oh my God, fire, you know, but it was a community thing, and it was not monetized, and it became monetized later, and it is heavily monetized now. But at its very core, it is a social construct, and it is a way for people to share their experiences with each other, either through song or just music or you know, painting or whatever. And so I find it interesting that at the time when arts is getting cut tremendously because it's just not feasible, it is the arts that are holding people together quite a bit during isolation. So to the people cutting us off.
I have to wipe the screen.
Yes, sorry people. Sorry about that. I'll just polish that off here.
Because my observation, I can't even get it right. What's going on? My observation today is that I don't know if it's just my state of mind's changing or whatever, but it seems like everyone seems to be getting like hints of getting back to normal. So school seems to get it, picking up a few more kids every day, that everyone's going back to school, and I have a day job for a couple of days a week as well, and they're all looking like they're going to go back to work in a couple of weeks. And I'm just like, is this actually a thing, or is this just my vibe? It's about the vibe.
I think we're in a privileged position in South Australia to be in such a relatively good position compared to other places.
In terms of infection, you mean?
And I think that's what's giving people this feeling of going
the
back.
Optimism.
I don't know. Basically, when all's said and done, we're a bit gubbed until we get a vaccine. Until we get a vaccine, there's going to have to be social distancing. There will be a normal, but I don't think it'll be the normal that we've had before.
Yeah. Well, doing a lot of work on cruise ships, it's going to be a long time before that comes back to normal. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there's different areas where it will be quite a while before that will be able to come back to normal, because you need quite a bit more than a few days worth of no infections to get people in the mindset that it's safe. And to have the public authorities tell us that it's safe, because if you go back too soon, and it's been proven in the past that people get a false sense of security, rush out there, and then it starts up again or it gets worse. So, do what you're told for the time being, until you get, the all clear that it really is, you're able to go back. And even then, I think probably it'll be a trickle down thing where some are going to be able to go and some aren't going to be able to, for various reasons, for the amount of contact you have in your job or the type of contact you have in your job. I mean, there was an interesting article about the cruise business that said they may, if they start up again, there would be different rules. Cruises generally, you have a lot of people my age, 60s, 70s, whatever, and those are vulnerable ages for stuff like infection. And they may, in fact, for a little while, tell people we're limiting the number of those more vulnerable people for a little while until it's back to normal, or whatever. Now, that's just a speculation. That is not, please don't write that down. Disclaimer. But, we're going to have to expect those kinds of things. And it'll depend really on what area that you're in. You know what I mean? So I think you're right. In some areas, it's going to be okay. And in other areas, it'll be a bit slower coming back onto the, back to normal, whatever normal is going to be after that. Normal will not be the same normal, I don't think.
Maybe the cruise ships can take their business model but put it on land, and then it'll be like a modern day. I don't know if you ever heard about the holiday camps in the UK, Butlins and Pontins. So basically, that's what being on a cruise ship, that experience is exactly the same experience, but you're on water rather than on land. So you basically put it on land.
Sort of like Dirty Dancing.
Like the Catskills in America, and Butlins was never that posh though, but the same idea.
Similar. All right, cool. Well, I think that's enough for the observations now, and it is now time to get ready to
mumble. And today's mumble is brought to you by Maggie Wood.
Thank you. And my mumble today.
Oh, don't stop.
Maggie.
Okay, then stop there. All right, so my mumble today is, I've been thinking about the people who are really pissed off that you're at home. Right, now, I'm not talking about people, we know that businesses are having a hard time, coffee shops and things like that. I don't mean those people. I mean other people. So I have the top 8 sets of people who are pissed off that you're at home. And we're going to start off at number 8. And that's the people who make the labels that are sewn inside your clothes. Now, they're going to be pissed off because, as what happened to me today, I found out at 5 o'clock today that I was wearing my top inside out. Now, if I had been going to the office, would have known that much earlier because people would have been around. But no, it was just me in here.
You've done that
doing my work.
before, as I remember.
What was that?
You've done that before. Warned
I
something
will have.
inside.
But just think, the longer we're at home, the less you need a label to tell you if your clothes are inside out because it doesn't matter. Labels people are going to go out of business. Except I've always thought I would love to have a factory and all I would make is clothes labels that say made in China. I would make a fortune. Anyway, that's number 8. Number 7, we've all heard that cats don't like you being at home, but actually the dogs don't really like you being at home. Our dogs are older. They just don't have the same amount of nap time. They can't sneak into places where they're not supposed to be and have their naps. They can't jump up in the beds quite so much. And they're like, we are really cutting into their routine. So we're getting the side eye from them. So that's number 7. Dogs are pissed off that you're at home. Number 6, people who are pissed off that you're at home, people who own car parks in the city centre because they can't rip you off for $35 for parking your car there for a day. But I've come up with a new business model. I don't know if it's legal, so disclaimer, entertainment purposes only. If you have an ABN, I want you to register your carport and your driveway as 2 parking spaces. Invoice yourself for $25 a day parking, bang, tax time, and it comes. Okay, but as I say, disclaimer, may not be legal. May not be legal.
Surely we've got somebody online that is watching that can actually verify that for us, because I think that's genius, Maggie. Well done.
Well, thank you. Number 5. You know those people...
hang on, just before we go on.
Yeah.
It's got $35 a day worth of fucking parking.
Why,
Anywhere
too
near
cheap?
Weymouth Street or Rundle Mall Road, believe me. Well, especially when you've got to stay on later and you've got to go for reviewing. I've had to pay $50 a day when I've had to leave the car in there past early bird. Because they need to go and do reviews. Don't do the reviews anymore. Anyway, number 5, the people who come to your house to either do something or deliver something, and they say, we'll be there between 9 and 5. They love that because they know it pins you down and they have the power. Not anymore. You're there all the time. They don't have the power. That's going to piss them off. The only thing is, be careful. If you're going to go into the shower, make sure there's somebody in your house that can answer the door. You're vulnerable if you're in the shower or on the toilet. Make sure you can tag team with somebody, people. That keeps you safe and that keeps them pissed off.
And you can almost guarantee that anybody who, like, the time that you do have a shower is the time that the deliveries will be made.
Well, yeah. So what you can do is pretend that you're going for a shower. And just stand and wait, and they will come. Number 3 and number 2, they're kind of the same thing, but for different reasons. Courier drivers, you know, the parcel delivery people who come and say, there was nobody home, so they'll leave a card, and then you got to drive halfway across town to get your parcel, even though you were there, possibly in the toilet or the shower. There's that. People who love the wee cards, they didn't even knock the door. They're pissed off. They're having to knock the door. Number 2, along the same lines, people who read the gas and electricity meters who don't usually actually knock the door. They just write out the cards and leave them. And you have to go and do your own gas and meter reading. No, people, you're going to have to do it because there is now access to both meters. Knock the door, because we're all home.
Read them yourself.
Yeah, I think Ian Brown might have something to say about that.
I'm sure Ian Brown is a good man and actually does.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. Not people I know.
And a big shout out to hard Ian as well.
Yeah, Ian. And number 1, people who are really pissed off you're going home. Burglars.
Yeah, that really screwed it up for them, poor things.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a whole line of pawn shops going out of business because people just The burglars just can't catch a trick because everybody is home.
Yeah, they're putting in for a
Yeah.
stimulus package, those poor guys, you know.
Yeah, but they're
You
going to
know-
have to steal it.
Yeah, right.
Keep up the skills.
You know what? You know what? You know, there's a group of people that you forgot, Maggie, but they're not really pissed off. Well, they are. The people that I think are just totally confused by the situation are like the Jehovah Witnesses, because you're home, but they can't come and knock on your door. Yeah, they're like, they're there. I know they're there, but we cannot go out and see them. Poor guys.
Either that, or it's taken them 2 days to do a street where they could do it in half an hour before, because everybody said, no thanks. Now people are starved for connection. They'll talk at them through the screen door.
Come back.
Give me
When
the
have they heard that
Give me
before?
the book tour. I'm
Come
reading
back.
material.
Yeah, come back, come back. These people are crazy. They're inviting us in. What's going on?
Oh, thank you very much, Maggie. Well done. Let's
Thank
go.
you.
Now it's on to our next section tonight, which is Go Ask Your Mothers. So you know when you have a fairly... Oh, what's going on there?
What the hell was that?
Stephen's gone into the laundry. Oh, for goodness sake. He's done something in the laundry. Hold on a sec. I'll let you go and turn it off.
Well, Maggie goes and tells Stephen off for putting on the laundry. Big shout out to the washing. So,
The joys of working from home. Yeah, my dog's at the door scratching. Steven's doing the laundry. Lynn's coming in. Glenn's coming in. Yeah, what's going on here?
Sorry about that.
Pay
Pay respect for that. It was filling up the dog's water bowls.
Oh, we need the Where's Glenn Awards. Where's Glenn segment tonight. That's what we should do. We should have the Where's Glenn and we just get him to come in.
I get to wear a striped jumper. Where's Glenn?
No, but we are doing Go Ask Your Mothers. When people get a curly question from little kids, usually they often the response is, I don't know, go ask your mother. So we thought that would be a fun thing to call this segment. So tonight we have a special question that has come in early. I'm just bringing it up. Hey, there's Glenn. Come on, Glenn. All
Me
right,
and
so-
Steven should start their own freaking show. This is ridiculous.
Get your own show.
Get your own show. God damn.
Okay, so Go Ask Your Mothers. Question for this week is how and when should you talk to your kids about sex? And somebody has decided that they're not going to say who it is, but it's anonymous. And we don't mind that because
It's
we do
anonymous.
prefer to have the curly questions than not at all. So, ladies, what do we think? How and when should we talk to our kids about sex? I'm
Well-
just going to disclaimer this with I'm going to bow out because I haven't done that yet, and I'm just going to listen and take notes.
Well, you know what? There's a very Rodney Dangerfield said it best. I think he said, "You know, my wife told me I should. My son's 14. My son's 14. My wife said you should talk to him about sex. I'm glad I did. I learned a lot. You know, so it sort of depends. But I think, and I have two examples. One or both of which may be personal, but I haven't cleared it with my son, so I'm not going to say which is the one I experienced. So I'll just say there's two things. One, woman, her kid comes up, he's about, I don't know, 7 maybe. And he goes, "Mom, where did I come from?" And she's like, "Oh, God, it's the where did I come from in question." So she went into this whole song and dance, and she gave him all the details, and she science and the thing with the ovaries and the bits and the pregnant and the whatever. And after about 10 minutes, the kid looks at her and she goes, "Now, do you understand?" And he's like, "I just want to know what hospital I was born at because the guy next door was born at, whatever general." And she's like, just spent half an hour with this detailed talk. And, he's like, well, I didn't ask that. So the thing is to answer appropriate to what find out what they're actually asking about, because not all the time do they want the whole song and dance and, when a mommy and daddy love each other, nobody wants to hear that. Second example is a woman's at work And our son's about, I don't know, 11, calls and says, Mama, I have to talk to you. And she says, what's up? And he goes, I found 3 hairs. And she's like, what? He's like, you heard me the first time, Mom. I said I found 3 hairs. Well, actually, I found 4, but I pulled one out by mistake. You know, when you're at work and you're on the phone with a child that says something like that, it takes all that you can to not laugh out loud at the poor thing. Good thing they're not right in front of you, because how do you handle that? You know, because it's like, So I tell you how I handled something similar to that is I went out and bought a book called What's Happening to My Body Book for Boys. And I came home with it. My son was about that age. And I said, look, maybe, you know, this is a bit hard to talk about. You might be a little embarrassed. So I'll give you this. You know, you can flip through it, see, you know, whatever. And it was really an excellent book. And I do recommend it for mothers out there or parents that want to at least maybe have a look at what kinds of things they should talk about with their child, whether they give it to their child to read or not. But what they do in the beginning of this book is that they talk about all the words that are used for the body parts, right? So they, you know, all the crude words that everyone knows, you know, and yeah, and beep and beep and beep 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 beep, you know. And they say, well,
so we can say them.
yeah. So, you know, and they do that because they want the child to know that these are all just slang words and the correct words and the body parts, you know, whatever. So they have an understanding what their bodies are like without these little words in it. So my son, bless him, I gave him the book. He ran into his room. About an hour later, he comes out and he was appalled that these words would be in print in a book. He's like, Mom, did you see what's in this book? Did you read this book? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, so it's not like you haven't heard it before. I'm so indignant, but it's not like you haven't heard it before. And he's like, well, yeah. I mean, so he actually knew all that, but he felt he had to be like just mortified by actually seeing it in print. So the point of all that is there's a lot of stuff you can access to talk to your child about it. And it's not the most, sometimes it's very embarrassing for parents to do that because they don't know when to start. There's like an ad on TV now. I think it's some car insurance or something where the kid is in the back seat and he asks his dad, dad and mother in the front seat, and the father starts going and they're on a road trip and he's giving them all the things. The kid is like in shock and he doesn't know what's going on. Do you understand? The kid's like, oh, you know, so just give it appropriate to their age, figure out what exactly they're asking and answer that. You don't have to go through the whole song and dance. Just answer the one question because it does get a little embarrassing, you know.
Yeah, I have heard that it's good to keep to take them on a drive when you do talk to them because then they're strapped in and they can't get out of the conversation.
And also they don't have to make eye contact.
That's exactly right. You're looking out the window, but then they can't hear.
Yeah, that is a therapy session in the future there, right there.
Yeah.
And Maggie, have you got anything to add to that just quickly?
I'll tell you 3 things. When David was little, I decided to just tell him little tiny bits so that by the time he got to be a teenager, he'd kind of know it all by increments. When he was 4, he said, Mum, what's ladies' boobies for? So I explained how they made milk for babies, and the babies got the milk by sucking on the boobies. And after I'd finished my explanation, he turned around and said to me, yeah, right. I had nowhere to go with that. When I myself was about 13, I knew nothing. We got sex education one day at school. And Clint, I was horrified when I heard about periods. I'd never heard this. And I was furious. I didn't sign up for this. And I went home. Mum said, what'd you get at school today? I said, you'll never believe what they told us. It's a lot of rubbish. And then she had to talk me down and go, actually, it's not. So I was trying to, prepare David. And so eventually came the time where I thought I should kind of just top it off and have the conversation when he was about 11 or something. And so I did the preamble and said, so David, it's about time we had to maybe sit down and talk about this. And he went, don't bother, Mum, I've got Google.
Oh,
So that was that, really.
could have been worse. He could have said, I got Facebook.
No, at least he didn't say I've got Pornhub.
Yeah, exactly.
I just remember being traumatized by my sex education at school. We used to have classes that we'd have to attend in the evenings with our parents, and they had flashcards. Do you remember the flashcards? Like the
gosh. What would be on a flashcard?
Vagina!
So they had all the words for all the body parts, right? So you'd be sitting
Vagina!
with your parents and all your classmates just going, vagina, testes.
Well, I went to Catholic school, and the nuns would tell us just bizarre things. The kind of advice they would give, it's like, don't wear patent leather shoes. The boys can see the reflection of your underwear. And it's like, what are they, like Superman? How can they see, And then don't wear white. It makes the boys think of bed sheets. Who gives advice like that to a child in Catholic school? And I thought to myself, wow, how about something practical? Like don't stay late after choir practice with Father Bob or something. Something we can use, But no, there's sex. I mean, it's hilarious. We look back on it and we laugh, but actually at the time it's very traumatic.
I think this is the perfect way to wrap up this. Kim said our sex ed teacher was Mr. Horn. Thank you very much, Kim.
Oh dear.
That's fantastic. All right, ladies, we are about to wrap up this show tonight. Let's bring it on home with our last segment of the evening. Let's get on to, wait for it, Bingeable. What are the things we're binging on during isolation, ladies? What's the one? Go, Maggie.
So I was reminded when we went into kind of quarantine, isolation, distancing, or whatever we call it, I was reminded of this book, which was a fantastic read. It's called Year of Wonders, and it's by Geraldine Brooks.
Nice. Hold it a bit closer to the screen for us. Year of Wonders.
Year of Wonders.
Fabulous.
By Geraldine Brooks.
Great. Yes.
Okay, so it's based on a true story. So the actual thing happened in England, and it's based in it's a story of the plague in 1666 in England, and it's about this village in England where they have the plague, but the surrounding towns have managed to get rid of it, and so the people in this village decide that they will self-isolate for a year in order to halt the plague growing in the towns around, and it's such a beautiful read. It's basically, it says, when an infected bolt of cloth carries plague from London to an isolated mountain village, a housemaid named Anna Frith emerges as an unlikely heroine and healer. So we see the whole story through Anna's eyes. And it's such a beautiful read, and you'll really be able to identify with it in some ways in the situation that we are right now. And there's a lot of love and compassion in this book. And with the turn of the year and nature and everything. So it's lovely. If you can get hold of it, well worth the read.
Fabulous. Thank you very much, Maggie. Well done. And have you got one, K-How, for us, a quick one?
You know what? I will save that for next week because we're running over time and we want to stick to time because we know you all have only so much time to spend with us. Although we could, when we're together, we just blab on for like 4 hours, but we really need to keep this fairly tight. So I think maybe I'll save mine for next week because I do want to spend a little time on my bingeable movies.
So we'll hear all about that one on Thursday. That sounds good. And I wanted to just quickly touch on my bingeable recommendation from Thursday night, which was Afterlife. And the season 2 in Netflix is out now. And if you haven't seen it over the weekend, I'm just going to review my recommendation to, if you want to cry a whole heap and just let some of that emotion go, then Afterlife is great. if you want to stay on the happy side or you're feeling a bit fragile, probably stay away from it. But I can highly recommend it. But it's just it's all the emotions all in one, really.
Yeah, binged on it at the weekend.
Yeah. Fab. All right, ladies. Now, what have we got on Thursday night show? Kay Howe, have you got a bit of a?
Well, I will be doing the mumbo. I'm grumbly mumbling about being a grammar Nazi in a world of bad communications. Because somehow math is getting involved in language now. There's a lot of 8s and 4s and all that. So anyway, but I will be grumbling about that on Thursday, and also I will do
that'll be one for the grammar Nazis then.
Yeah, that'll be one for the grammar Nazis. I know they will all be like, yes. I'll have my peeps out there, and that is with no apostrophe. So, and then I do have a couple of things. Some really cheesy movies that I want to recommend. Well, not cheesy; they're actually good. But a couple of movies I'd like to recommend. They're funny and they're just fun. So
fantastic. All righty, well that's it from us for this week.
And send in your questions for Go Ask Your Mothers.
Yes, we can. If you want to stay anonymous, you can totally do that. Just send it by email.
Just say you don't want to put your name on. So
if you want to send it in, you can message one of the mums, or you can even message the mum's Facebook page and just say, can you please not say who it's from? That'll be totally fine.
And send us the pictures of your books that are holding up your laptop.
Performing double duty.
The book stands. The book stands for the laptops. Done. All right, mums. I think that is a wrap for the viral edition of the Three Stuff Mums. Thank you very much for joining us tonight once again, and look forward to seeing you again on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Radelaide time. Yay!
All right, see you guys then. Thanks for sticking with us.